Hey everybody, welcome to 12.4, Conformity, Compliance, and Obedience. We're going to start out with the ash effect. The ash effect is when they have a group of people, they give them a test, and they have a confederate, that's somebody that is working with the experimenter, and that confederate knows what's going on. So they are there to throw off the group, to choose the wrong answer on purpose, to see who goes along with them. Two phenomenons come from this. It's norm social influence. It's when you don't want to be the odd duck, and so you're just like, yeah, that wrong answer, that's the right answer. It is. And then you have the informational social influence. It's when you think everybody else in the group is just competent. You're like, yeah, okay, they must know, and so you just go with it. You see this a lot when you have like little kids voting. I say little kids, but even if you do it in high school, other kids, teenagers, preteens, they have a tendency to go with the group, regardless if they agree or not. This is why voting is private. Next is Stanley Milgram's experiment. It's all about obedience. You do as you're told. In your book, there is an example of a Nazi officer or soldier, and he did despicable things to people. We all know about World War II. And his defense to that was, well, I was told what to do. They gave an example of some teachers. They were supposed to teach some students correct answers, and so the students actually were Confederate, so they knew what was going on, and the teachers had to shock the students every time they gave a wrong answer, and every time they gave a wrong answer, the voltage increased of their shocks. Later on in the experiment, the students, aka the Confederates, were begging, please stop, it's hurting my heart. And the teachers kept shocking them because they were told to. So that's a little scary. Groupthink. When you conform your thinking to that of your groups. I do not think religious groups are cults. Please don't look at this and be like, that's not it. It's just my examples because that's where I see this. I just watched the Waco special on Netflix. Highly recommend if you have not seen it. But there were smart people in that group. People that knew what a cult was. But the whole group thought this one certain way, and so it just was like a vortex. It sucked them in. So you see this type of thinking with cults. I've seen this type of thinking in religious groups. I am not saying that Christianity or any other religious group is a cult. Please don't think that. I just have seen it with religious groups, especially specific churches. I don't have an example off the top of my head, but I have seen it. Oh, I do have an example. My mother's church had a music minister that was playing Christian music at a bar. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're drinking on a Tuesday, Jesus knows. If that's of your belief, Jesus knows. But that church fired him. The group, I can guarantee that if I would have went and surveyed all the group members of that church, that they would have been like, no, it was okay. But they fired him. Why? Because he was at a bar? What about the people that saw him at that bar? So, there's your example. Groupthink. Group polarization. This is your example for political groups. It is when the general consensus of a group isn't necessarily how you personally feel or you personally think, but you go along with it regardless. I am not going to give an example of this. That's that. Social loafing. This is when you are grouped together and you don't put your best foot forward because you personally will not be judged or scored on your personal effort, your whole group is going to be judged. And so I did kind of put in, it says, when your output decreases because your personal output will not be judged. Your group will be judged as a whole. What's the point of doing great if the group sucks? It's pretty self-explanatory. Deindividuation. This is associated with the mob mentality. I like to think of this on social platforms. People get real gutsy behind their keyboard. And behind their keyboard, they can pick on people and join the masses of being ugly. On the flip side, they can also join the masses of being uplifting. I saw this, actually, Graham, she's a model that is slightly bigger than our vision of models. And she posted something, I think it might have been on TikTok, something like that. And all these women were like, oh, you're so beautiful. Yeah, girl, have that second plate of food. You look amazing, blah, blah, blah. On the flip side, there was another model that posted on TikTok, and she was like, I have to keep on this diet, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, why? You're skinny. You're nothing but skin and bones. Like, I mean, they were just being so ugly to her. And this is the mob mentality. When you just see a post and like you just jump on it for no reason, and there's no consequences. So that's 12.4. Hope you enjoyed it. See you for 12.5.